we have a problem and we need to talk about it. Terra Luna Classic, we need to discuss burns and the 1.2% burn tax in order to make sure that Terra Luna Classic achieves its absolute potential that we all know that it can. So we're going to talk a little bit about it in this video, and equally a new proposal that we need to discuss. So if that's something you like, then be sure to hit that like button. Let's make sure everybody needs it, because we need everybody in the community to be on top of this. Also, if you want to keep up to date with everything going on with Luna Classic, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn that notification bell on so you know when our latest videos go live on the channel. Now let's get into this one. So here is the problem. We can see our volume is significantly down based on where we were. So you can see here that we were up around 311 billion, 316 billion, 317 billion being the one we topped out in the last 30 days. But then since the implementation of the 1.2% burn tax, we are seeing, well, a tenth of that volume, and that volume is going somewhere else. Now we can see it's consistently been around that. Yes, we've seen about 33 billion, but it is significantly down. So therefore, with anything in crypto, as with any business, you have to evolve. If you do not evolve, you do not change, you get left behind. Now crypto is no different to that, and we need to do something very different. We need to encourage volume onto the Terra Luna ecosystem. Now this isn't just about bringing decentralized applications in. It isn't just about building utility right now. This is about volume. Everything to do with deflationary tokens, deflationary coins is all about volume, transactions, and making sure people are doing it. Now here's the crazy thing. We have some of the biggest volume outside of the top 5 cryptocurrencies right now. So we do have the volume. The problem is the volume is somewhere else. Now we know that Binance does the 0.1% on spot on margin trading fees, and they are putting through a significant chunk. About 50% of the total volume going through is going through some of those Binance pairs. So we have to do something different. Now here's the thing. We have a proposal based from Akunjuro, who is part of the team, ultimately supported by both Edward Kin and a few others. I'm going to take a look at this. Fundamentally, though, it's lowering the tax rate to 0.2% and set aside a 10% of the tax revenue to finance ecosystem infrastructure and contributors. So those people that build it. And again, we talked about this at the very start, that this was a community organized project that they took on. And I think ultimately we've come so far with this, it is only right that the people that are contributing it to it are taking some benefit. Now we know validators obviously get it from supporting the network, but I think it is a really interesting concept. And I do think it's definitely something the community needs to think about, that if we move to a 0.2%, would we then significantly increase our volume on Terra chain? So it talks a little bit about the results of voting, etc., and the motivation, which is the important bit. It says the proposal aims to signal to centralized exchanges and other on-chain users that we would like to keep the tax while using its revenue efficiently by funding the costs associated with development, the LCD endpoint, and costs related to the contribution for past and present contributors, either individuals or organizations like the Terra Rebels. And I think that is ultimately the important point. Now, again, if Binance was to come out and say, we support the 1.2% on both on and off chains, all that people would do would be moved to a different exchange. The volume would come down. CZ said it himself. So we have to find this middle ground, this opportunity where exchanges feel like they can take some of that volume, but ultimately it's not going to completely cripple their business. And I think that's really important. So does 0.2% feel right? Does it need to be 0.1%? And I think the fact that we are able to change and move, and again, for anyone that's new to this and new to Terra Luna Classic, the protocol was already built in, the coding and scripture is already there, that it can be changed through a community proposed vote. And I think that's really, really important. So we can move very, very quickly with this if the community is behind it. It says the burn tax proposal in 3568 and implemented and distributed in 4159 was implemented on the 21st of September. Again, we see it here, look, 21st of September, where we saw a significant reduction in volume. And it says since the on-chain transaction volume from Luna has decreased by 91.67%, a difference of 3.45% since measured taken after 7 days of the initial signed proposal. So it's clear to see we need to do something around the volume. It talks a little bit about core reasoning, 0% use of the tax revenue. Again, what does that look like? Where does that go? We are not burning nearly enough Lunac at the current rate to justify the costs of its implementation. Now, and again, here is the point. What we don't want to do is just fizzle out into nothing when there is such a huge potential. We need to support the people that are supporting us, because if we don't, they will go and do something else. That's to say, we've successfully generated 4.47 mm worth of taxes and spent it either on ourselves, ideally held to allow the other continual funding and perpetual spot trading, such as large short positions, or simply discarded it with the assumption that forced scarcity of the token will increase as its native price. So it's important. Validators, we know, get rewards from the blockchain, and equally traders as part of the core reasoning. And then the main proposal, so it says here, look, immediate decrease of the tax rate to 0.2% on all transactions, levy the 0.02% of the calculated tax pre-burn to ecosystem funding. So it's not even a big amount. And again, it only then becomes a big amount when we see the increase of volume, which I think is important. So we can see here the pros and the cons. So potential: encouraging traders to trade on the chain to opt into the burn tax, setting aside tax revenue for positive ecosystems, retaining partial taxation, and compensating core developers and contributors to the lunacy ecosystem. It's business, all right? It's money. We need to understand that. We could see some huge builds on here, but we need to pay these people. These people aren't going to come and do it for free when they can go and do it on other networks. What is the cons? Well, less Lunac could be burnt overall. No guarantees that CEXs will return the chain, and they may not change the current on-chain volume. And I think that is one of the things we need to be mindful. But here is my thought process. We do already have people supporting this. So we see this. Terra Rebels is proud to announce that the Nibelio team have become an official supporter, providing infrastructure, financial, and advisory support to help us deliver on our core mission to maintain the Terra Classic blockchain on behalf of the Terra Classic community. It's a pretty big thing. Again, we are seeing people build on the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem. People want this to survive. So ultimately, where does that leave us? Well, for me, I think we need to reduce the taxes. We need to increase this volume. Yes, it will take longer, but if we increase volume, we increase trading, we increase those people that want to try and trade this, which ultimately supports the deflationary nature of Terra Luna Classic. And I think the more volume we get, the more CEXs would look at it, and equally then the more sponsorships, the more partnerships, whatever you want to look at it, will come to Terra Luna Classic. And for me, clearly, right now, it is not going to work at a 1.2% burn tax when people can trade it cheaper elsewhere. It is the real world. It is money. Some people just are out for themselves. And I think it's important we remember and we reflect on that. So for me, I think we can implement it quickly. I think the community needs to think about it and make a vote on it. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you support the 0.2% burn tax and see what that does for volume? Or do you think we should stick to the 1.2? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel or left a like on this video, please do so. It really supports us and it gets the message out to everybody in the Terra Luna Classic community. That's the end of this video, guys. Thank you for all the support, and I'll catch you in the next one.